You don't have to have another child right now. It's really up to you and your partner, but like you don't have to do it while you're drowning. How do you make friends as an adult? Well, I would love for someone to give advice on this one because I need help with this one too. But so here's the thing. Does the fact that I'm feeling something for someone else means my relationship is over? Hi, and welcome to the Hidden Pages podcast. I'm your host, Vanessa. And on this episode, we're having a confession session where some of our listeners who are subscribed to your email list, which if you haven't subscribed, you should, have sent in their personal stories that they want to share anonymously and they want advice on. And we're going to give advice on here. Now, if you have any advice or anything that you want to say or that you relate to on these stories, you're welcome to send me a DM or an email that I can forward to the people sharing. All right. Also, quick disclaimer that I'm not a professional. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a coach or anything. And this is just my personal advice to another person. And any advice that anybody else gives is personal advice. And you can take it or leave anything that you want. If you feel like your story or anything that you have going on requires professional help, please be sure to reach out to a professional. All right, let's get started. So, Addie is what we're going to call her because we changed her name to keep it anonymous. Says, Vanessa, I'm freaking out. So I've been with my boyfriend for 2 years, and honestly, I thought he was the one. Like, we talked about marriage and everything, but lately, it seems like he's gotten comfortable. We used to have date nights, and now I feel like we're more like roommates. He's just there. I thought the next step would be engagement, but instead, I'm sitting here wondering if this is it. Am I supposed to feel this stuck? And here's where it gets a little tricky. There's this guy at work. Oh no, not that guy at work. We're just friends, I swear. But he's been so sweet and attentive. He sees me. He makes me feel special in a way I haven't felt in a while. Sometimes I catch the vibe that he likes me, but I don't know. And the worst part is, I just find myself missing who my boyfriend used to be with the way this guy treats me. So here's the thing. Does the fact that I'm feeling something for someone else means my relationship is over? She has a few questions, so let's start already answering that one. No and yes. So if you feel like your relationship is just in a comfort zone and you want to work at your relationship because this is the most important person you have, then your relationship is not over, but you need to have a conversation about how you're feeling and honestly how this guy is making you feel, because maybe there's something there that he can bring back into your relationship, and a little jealousy. And I know this might sound controversial, but sometimes some men need a little spark, like, like, oh my god, someone else might be interested in my girl. It can bring some life into things, but I wouldn't recommend it as a long-term use. But just like letting him know that there's someone interested that has made you feel special and that you want to make sure that he knows about this and how you're feeling about that too. It's going to be a tricky conversation, but I would have that. Now, if that's only if you want to keep the relationship. If you feel like this new relationship with someone else at work is more enticing, or um your relationship at home feels more comfortable and it's about comfort, then yeah, your relationship is over. Am I the problem here? I would say you're the problem. I think that relationships take two. So if someone's feeling lack somewhere, then it takes the part of the other person, but it also takes on your part that you need to, speak out loud about what you're feeling and let them have a chance to redeem themselves if that's what you want. I don't want to be the girl that just strays because she gets bored. I don't think you're getting bored. People are getting comfortable in the relationship to the point that they're not trying anymore. So this is where I feel like it's also his part. Do I end it with my boyfriend? Only if you want to. Only if you feel like it's less important than the relationship at work, or if you feel like you're just too comfortable and feeling stuck, which is something that you mentioned, is something that you don't want to feel like in a relationship. I would still have the conversation first, maybe give it a period of time to see if things change a little bit after the conversation. But if they don't, then you should probably end it. Is there even anything to fix at this point, or is this just how relationships get when they're serious? Okay. Yes, there's a bit of comfort that comes in a relationship, but that's just like because a relationship is more like in waves, right? Like the exciting part, then you get comfortable and like the happy weight comes on and all that stuff, right? Like you get comfortable, then you hit another level. Like for me, for example, we were like great, and then we got comfortable, and then we got married. So that was like another adventure, and like we went up and like was like, oh my god, all this new stuff for marriage. And then we started getting comfortable, we were living good, and we had a baby. And it was like, holy shit, what the fuck did we do sometimes? That's what it felt like. And then it was like, okay, we're finally getting the hang of this. Okay, we're in cruising mode right now. But those there always should be some kind of growth, and like, in between all these like lulls, we also had therapy, so there was always new layers to our relationship that we were discussing. So Addie, that's my advice for right now. I would definitely, just to, I guess, like recap, check yourself if this is just about a comfort thing that you're staying in this relationship, or there's truly a lot of other things that you can pinpoint that make this relationship worth it. If that is worth it, then I would definitely try, or at least have the conversation and give it a period of time. If you go through that process of seeing if it's worth it, and there's not much but comfort in that space for you to want to stay in there, then I would definitely have the conversation and then end it. Why waste his time and your time? You know? Also, if the guy at work is really someone for you, then I would still give it a period of waiting and like mourning this relationship or learning from this relationship before you jump into another one. Because if he is someone for you, he's going to wait for you till you're ready. And you're not ready right after a relationship. All right, next person. We're going to call Sophia. And she says, Vanessa, I'm going to be brutally honest because I'm at my wits' end. Ugh. I am a stay at home mom, and I had this whole idea of what motherhood would be like. The supportive village, the family pitching in, friends said just get it. But it's been nothing like that. My postpartum experience has been a nightmare. Eesh, you're preaching to the little choir here. And honestly, I still feel like I'm drowning some days. And the worst part is most of my family is toxic, and I've had to distance myself from my own sanity. Eesh. So now I'm basically doing this whole motherhood thing alone and on my own, and it's exhausting. Making mom friends has been impossible. Everyone's either not having kids or they don't relate to me. I've never felt this alone, and now the question of having a second kid has come up. I'm scared to even think about it because if it's hard with one, how am I supposed to handle two? How do you even make friends as an adult when you feel like you're living on a different planet? And how do I stop feeling guilty for needing space from people who aren't there for me anyways? So let's start with the second kid, because the question comes up about having a second kid. If you're not feeling it, you don't have to have it. I'm going to give you some advice that my therapist gave me. And she said that she's had to give this advice very often, even though it's common sense sometimes to some people, right? It was like, if you don't want to do something, you don't have to do it. So if you're not feeling like you're ready for a second child, you don't have to have another child right now. It's really up to you and your partner, but like, you don't have to do it while you're drowning. That's really what it is. So you don't have to worry about the second child until you feel ready for a second child, or if you feel like you're drowning less. She said that she was giving advice to someone that was saying, I hate running, so I just don't work out because I hate running. And she was like, then don't run, find something else that you like. And it's like, wow, why do we need permission to do that? Anyways, the other one was, how do you make friends as an adult? Well, I would love for someone to give advice on this one because I need help with this one too. But I would say putting yourself in like environments of places that you like, or things that you like to do, will get you people around the same like things that you like to do. So like, let's say that you like, I don't know, mom days out to the park and stuff. I'm sure you can find groups that do like mom club or mom running club or mom stroller club. I've seen a lot of the stroller running clubs, especially for dads. But if or you like painting, go take a painting class, like a community college painting class or something like that, to where you're in an environment with people that like to do things like you things that you like to do, because sometimes we feel like we have to find people outside of our comfort zone, or like you're just going to run into someone or you're going to make friends. Another great place to make mom friends is wherever, if you have your kid in some nursery or like daycare or school or anything, try to check out if if they have parent events, or if you can run into parents that pick up or drop off, and try to like make friends that way, because your kids already go to school, they might be friends already, and so there's common ground there. I would say those are the quickest tips. The one that's worked for me so far is doing things that I like to do. And it could be a virtual community too, because like I've been drawing a lot and I started Instagram just for my drawings so that people that know me don't know I'm doing that. So I keep it like anonymously. There's only a few people that know me that know that I'm doing that. And I didn't follow anyone I know. And I'm just like posting artwork out, and it's been great because I've gotten like feedback and people like commenting that they love my art, and like they started following me, and I'm like sharing their stuff and they're sharing my stuff. And it's just been great because I've found a like-minded community that just wants to create art anonymously. um how do I stop feeling guilty for needing space from people who aren't there for me the way I think they should? Okay. Well, guilt is not from God, is something I always hear in my head, because I've heard that before, but it's like guilt isn't something that we should use as a guide. Like sometimes, if this brings you peace, you hear that a lot. So if it brings you peace, you should definitely do it. And if it makes you more yourself, you should definitely do it. And if, like however you want to hear it, but guilt isn't one of those guiding feelings, because they come either from childhood traumas or any other things that have programmed us to think it's our fault. If someone's not showing up for you, there's no need to feel guilty for not making space for people that don't make space for you in their life, or don't make the proper environment for you to want to be around them. The biggest thing I learned once I had a child was that I can cut people off real quick because I have much more clear priorities, which is my family, as in my husband and my kid and my dog. And then anything outside that, if I don't have the energy for it, I don't feel guilty, because this is the only thing I can handle. So don't feel guilty about setting boundaries and cutting people off, or, just not being there for people that aren't there for you. But definitely take my advice on trying to find a community virtually or anywhere else, because doing the motherhood thing alone is very difficult, especially as a stay at home mom. All right, last one. We're going to call her Emily, and she says, I need some real talk. So I'm basically the queen of situationships. It's like revolving door of almost relationships that never go past talking phase. And here's the kicker. I know it's all tied to my childhood shit, but I can't catch a break. Growing up, I had to be the strong one, quote unquote, and now I don't know how to not be in control. I'm out here working on myself, going to therapy, reading all the self-help books, but still I keep attracting these emotionally unavailable dudes. Is my radar broken? I've tried everything to break the cycle, but I feel like I'm stuck. Can you tell me, am I sabotaging myself here? Is there any way to heal without feeling like I'm stuck in this lonely waiting room of a relationship? Because I'm ready to throw in the towel on the whole dating thing. Please, I need some tough love. Well, I would suggest you listen to our Parentify Child episode, just because I feel like that's probably where your strong one comes from. Just so you're aware of some of the things that might come with being the strong one in your family. But to give advice on, um, do you have a broken radar? Probably. Some of our childhood programming sometimes leads us to have these misconceptions of how things actually should be. Or, like I said, the parentified child tends to disregard red flags, because if it's better than what we've had or what we've seen, then we think is automatically the best thing for us, which doesn't necessarily mean that. I would definitely work on boundaries, boundary setting, and just establishing what you want and don't want in a relationship ahead of time, and walking in I wouldn't say with a long checklist of like they have to meet all these things, but like let's say if you're not looking for a serious relationship, I'm not even going to waste my time because it seems like your boundaries are very flexible and it's allowing people that don't want the same things as you want in. I wouldn't give up on the relationship thing, and you working on yourself is actually really great, but I would try to dive in probably in your childhood like you said. This is probably coming from childhood, but yes, boundaries. I would look into boundaries, and I'm going to send you a couple books that I worked on myself for setting boundaries, and I'm gonna also link them below for anyone else who relates to this. So check out our show notes at thehiddenpagespodcast.com, or a link in a bio also has our website where you can check all our show notes and everything. And I'm gonna link some of these resources below too. But yeah, I would definitely work on setting boundaries, work in therapy with boundaries, or reading any self-help books about that. But you don't allow anything that you don't want for yourself in. And actually, we're doing an episode with Amber Henry, which it's our next episode, that she talks about this stuff. So I hope this helps. See you in the next episode. Thanks for hanging out with me on the Hidden Pages. If today's episode hit home for you, don't forget to subscribe or leave a review and share it with your friends who might need it too. Until next time, I'll see you in the next episode.